Man, how y'all doing today? Welcome to another episode of Dark Skies, news and information coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA. And we got a lot to cover today. We're talking about the universe, we're talking about simulations, we're talking about the need for simulations, where does this fit into all of this? And basically, the universe, right? We're going to talk about, the universe and, our place in it and what we know about it and, let's explore some ideas, bounce some stuff off the wall. But you found the number one podcast and the number one podcast in all the multiverse. Coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, Dark Skies News and Information Podcast. Your host, LC Grace, Mikey Nice Jim, Jennifer, Jeff, the leader, AB, everybody checking in. Just want to say thank you. You know how we do. Light them if you get them. Make yourselves comfortable. We'll be back in a few seconds. Oh my God. The universe. It's a big show, huh? Oh man. Well, back again for another show. And it's kind of crazy. Just got finished talking to Mikey about, just the crazy things that's happening in our world, right? The world that we live in here on Earth, day-to-day life, from politics to religion to awakeness to the lack thereof, to intelligence, to, the lack of intelligence, to the direction things are going. And wow, it's just, it's a conversation that can go on and on and on. So we did have to settle down and figure out what we was going to do. And one of the things was the show that we wanted to do on the universe. And the universe is such a big topic, right? It's so huge. Everybody think that they understand it, but it's, enormous. Now, you might think that over time, man's ability to comprehend the sheer size of infinity, well, I don't know, because you can't measure space, right? Because it's never one size. It's always growing, expanding outward. So you never really get to see size to judge against, because, it's even bigger than it was a few minutes ago when I had started the show. So it's really hard to comprehend the sheer size of space. And we're talking the universe when we talk space, not just the solar system. Because some people can't, get past, their living room or their bedroom or their day-to-day life and some of the things that they see in today's world in traffic, on the bus, or walking your dog. I mean, there's so many different things you might experience, things you might see. But that don't change nothing in your core beliefs, right? Everybody has, core beliefs, things that can happen, things that can't happen, or understanding of, reality and how reality works. Now, every motherfucker think he has the answers to this. and we should. I mean, we live life so we understand how the world works, on our day to day, because some of us have jobs, we know that we have to have it and that we have to make money and that, we have to eat to live and have shelter and clothing and, the bare necessities. But all that stuff costs money. It's not free. If not, it's, well, you have to wait around for the generosity of man. And that's not always available. Matter of fact, a lot of motherfuckers done died waiting for the generosity of man. Done starved, done froze to death, left abandoned, thinking that somebody was going to come to your rescue. We live in a world with no heroes. And it's crazy because the closest thing y'all got to a hero is, a destroyer. Somebody like me who would rather see change than to see the status quo. But at the same time, I don't want to see people hurt. So I spend a lot of time trying to, talk to people and give them an opportunity to, think for themselves. That's why I always promote free thinking. Because I believe every motherfucker had the ability to free his mind. And the old quote, free your mind, your ass will follow. Oh, man. And it doesn't make me unique, right? Because I spend a lot of my time reading books, learning, gathering knowledge, expanding my horizon when it comes to so many different things, right? But it's not just for this podcast. I've always been like this. I always had the need to want to know, ask questions. But at the same time, questions nobody else can answer. I got to go out there and find the answer myself. But it's not just that. I wanted to know things. I wanted to know about things. That's when I started studying UFOs, not because a TV show or a movie, but because of a book. I remember reading about UFO abductions, and I don't even remember the name of the book. I was so young when I read it. But I remember reading about Betty and Barney Hill, and, it was just incredible. I remember reading about Travis Walton. It's just, mind-boggling. And at the same time baffling, because think about it. We talk about UFOs, we talk about, alien abductions and cattle mutilations and all these different things that say that, oh, we're not alone, but at the same time, nobody lives life like we're not alone. Everybody just thinks that it's us. And even now, with all the evidence, all the back footage and all the pictures and all the stories and all the testimonies and, lie detector tests and ridicule, and it's just been a long journey for the UFO community, right? And then for the government to say that, well, there are things out there that we can't identify, we can't even hope to compete with when it comes to ability, technology. So what do you get from that? You get that maybe, we have something. I don't know if y'all remember that interstellar object that came into our solar system. And yeah, we're talking about the universe. This object comes from out of the solar system, come hurling its way around our sun and back out of our solar system. Like a boomerang itself. But this object, was said to be elongated, right? So what creates something like that naturally, and what behaves like that naturally? None of you are saying comets, but this object was clearly not a comet. Because its trajectory, the way it behaved, its shape, the way scientists reacted when they first discovered it. Now, we monitor these comets as they come in flying around our sun, and sometimes, we may have something new. But for the most part, they got an idea of what's coming in by the time it's, pretty close anyway. But an object coming from out of the solar system, you don't know where it came from. I mean, the galaxy's a pretty big place. And we're talking about the universe, and y'all, have to get your mind past the scale of a solar system. But this object, what is it, Oumuamua, I can't even pronounce it. But anyway, this object comes flying in and flies back out. And I remember Stephen Hawking was working on it. More people was working on it, trying to find out what it was, because they believed that it was some type of spaceship or some type of message. So it could mean easily that, there's life out there. But how much more evidence do you need? I mean, all throughout human history, there's been some type of, story or legend or religious story about, beings that come from the sky down to earth. And in some cases, either creating man or altering man. I mean, it's just been so many different stories. Even today, you have stories of unidentified flying vehicles moving through our atmosphere or flying over our airports or maneuvering off the coast of California, the coast of Florida. Doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is that, it's a situation that seems to exist. So, how big is the universe, right? Well, first of all, you have to think. This is the Earth, right? We're all living here on Earth. I'm right here in California, Dark Skies News and Information, recording live from Los Angeles. We are here in California, here on Earth. But Earth is just one of countless planets. But if you think about just our solar system alone, we're the third planet, the third rock from the sun. But there are other planets. We got Mars right next door. That's why, we got the rovers over there. It wasn't too far, right? Send the rovers over there, take a look. What was there? Was any past civilizations? Any evidence of life? Past, current. It's quite amazing when you start to think about it. This is space exploration. Of course, done by computers, right? Robots, rovers, not actual astronauts, not the way we envision, sending men to Mars, men and women, maybe even children. Ever see that movie Aliens? It's crazy though. We think that we know everything because we've seen some movies, or we got somebody's idea or depiction or simulation of a reality that may not even exist or may do exist. And this is the best way to show you. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to make a movie. Now, I always tell people that art imitates life and life imitates, art. Or reality. We can interchange the words, right? Art imitates reality. Well, this is true in so many ways. And I've been pointing it out for so long. I tell people that, just pay attention to some of the movies that you watch and, what are they trying to tell you? Also music and TV shows and, got these series, what are they trying to tell us? You ever see Yellowstone? I want to see Yellowstone. I haven't seen it yet. But, they got these shows that talk about, apocalyptic type things or natural disasters or, big asteroids hitting the planet or maybe a tidal wave or, remember the movie 2012? It's like they're trying to tell you something. But the universe is so huge. And the solar system is just a small speck in it. And it's huge to you because you're going to think that by the time I get out of this solar system, you know, well, I'll be, who knows how old I'll be. I know by the time I come back, if I go to the edge of the solar system and then come back to Earth, well, I'll be, well, pretty old, but the people that probably was there when I left will probably won't be there anymore. I don't know, because what, time and space work differently. What, time seems to move the same for the people here on Earth, but once you go to space, what, you age slower or something? I don't know. I wonder how that works. You know, we are, years age, right? Because the Earth goes around the sun in a year, right? So how old are you? This many years. But, a year on Jupiter or a year on maybe Saturn or Uranus will probably be a lot different than, a year on maybe Mercury. So, would you age differently? Say if you are 30 years old on Jupiter, would you be like 300-year-old the person on Mercury? I don't know. I wonder what the numbers are on that and how that would work. Would you age differently if you were on a farther away planet? Or maybe in a different solar system all to begin with. What if your planet, developed farther from the sun? What, determines your age? I mean, we count our age by years, but, how old, would we actually be? Would it be solar rotations, or would it be, trips around that supermassive black hole in the middle of the Milky Way? And for those that don't know, yes, our solar system resides right here in the beautiful Milky Way. And the Milky Way is basically a galaxy filled with a whole bunch of stars, just like our sun, and much different, much larger, some smaller. But doesn't matter, it's billions of them. They all over the Milky Way. And this is only one galaxy. Now they say it's a spiral galaxy with arms, and basically it looks like a spiral. And you also have elliptical galaxies that are more shaped like, circular shape. So you got spirals and you got these elliptical galaxies moving through a big giant universe that's forever expanding, right? All these stars and all of these different galaxies. It's countless galaxies, right? It's probably billions and billions and billions. It's countless numbers of galaxies. And inside of these galaxies, there's billions of stars, billions of planets. And, the possibility of life is just staggering. All the different types of life and, different ages, species, and cultures. So that's why I try to get a better understanding of our place in not just, in the solar system, but in the Milky Way, and our place in the universe that's forever expanding. We think we know so much, but, talking about the universe and our understanding of it, things change, our belief system and things that we think that we know, but we learn so much more as people start to ask hard questions, right? Why scientists are studying these planetary bodies using these rovers, and these rovers are sending back just tons of information on not just Mars, but on the moon. I always tell people that, the moon is so mysterious because it's huge, right? It's so much bigger than, like, the regular satellite that goes around the other planets, not just in our solar system, but to the known universe, right? To the known scientific community. We don't see a moon the size of our moon going around any other planets. It seems to be an anomaly. And you know how I am about anomalies. Every time I see an anomaly, I just get fucking excited. I'm like, what the fuck? It stands out, right? Makes you think, like, wow, it's not right, but it still exists, so it needs to be explained. And that's what I do. I look at something and I like, well, it exists. Even if I don't think it should, or that I can't believe that it does. And there's so many different things. The Mandela effect, there's so many different things that I actually study that I say, hey, shit shouldn't exist, but it does. So I gotta try to find out why. Because, nobody else probably will, or maybe they will, but I'm not the type to sit around and wait for someone else to do this, because who knows, may not even happen in my lifetime unless I do it. Or somebody like me with the same motivation and the same will to get the job done. Because all of these things are a part of our universe. And the more we understand the universe, I think the more we understand ourselves and our place in it. Oh my God. But it's nighttime, right? It's really dark. It's cold outside. So I want y'all to light up a fat one, put your feet up, and we're going to take a quick break and come back, and we're going to talk a little bit about the simulations and the need for this, especially when we get into the multiverse and the multi-universe theory. Oh my God, shit is crazy, man. And looking at the way our world is going and the way people are acting, oof, I don't know. It is what it is, though. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. And like I said, light them if you get them. You're listening to Dark Skies News and Information, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. From the Bay to LA.
There's a poison in hate that make me not wanna date. Loving from the fake. There's a poison in hate that make me not wanna date. Loving from the fake. How much more can I take? So I hesitate while she demonstrates. Smiling face, like a lady awake. Dressed red and lace. Yes, I'm feeling this place. Feels like I'm catching a case. When I look in her face, she telling me wait, grace, before she said on my face. Cause haste make waste. Keep it up, baby. Keep up the pace. How much more can you take? I said plenty more, baby, cause I stay in my shape. The state that she gave, the state that she make, make me feel like I'm running in place. And when she make love, I grip on the waist. With a little face, face to face. Hey, give me a taste. Won't hesitate, baby, it's brave. Before I eat, tell her to face. Tell her to brace.
Save the world, where in the world is all the time? So many things I still don't know. So many times I changed my mind.
Brace
Yes,
yourself,
I was
baby.
born to make mistakes, but I ain't scared to take the way.
Give me a taste.
So when I stumble off the path, I know how to guide me back.
Is it the poison or the hate that make me not wanna date? Love the fake, is it fake that make me hesitate? Why she demonstrates smiling faces like a lady awake, dressed with a lace. Yes, baby girl, I'm feeling this face, face, like I'm feeling your face. Damn, I feel like I'm catching a case when I look at your face. I'm telling you, Grace. Grace, baby. Brace yourself.
This is Dark Skies News and Information coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA. And yes, your captain on this journey. And this is like a cosmic journey tonight, right? Because we're talking about universe and space and stars and planets and galaxies and all that good shit, right? So think about this. Simulations are like recreations, right? Something that already exists, or like an event, or a game, or a program, or something, maybe a war, or you can re-simulate the battle. I mean, simulations have many different uses. You know, basically, it's like it can give you a playback of something, or maybe you can simulate, like movies could be simulations of actual events, you know, based on a true story. So it's all these different ways, right, you can simulate. And the things that's most simulated is reality, right? The things that we do the day to day, you know, in our movies, our TV shows, our plays, our radio, our music videos, or everything, cartoons, animation, anime, everything is a recreation of reality, or what we see in reality, or what we expect to see, or what we hope to see, or, you know, you can get into fantasy, right, and take reality in a different direction. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we're still talking about simulations. And simulation is done by all cultures, all races, all breeds, all everything. You know, even things like learned behavior, you know, could be considered some form of simulation, simulated behavior. You know, you see things for generations after generations, and you know that this be the best way to go until somebody figure out a better way. Say, hey, we've been doing this way for, you know, 100 years. You know, let's go fishing on a boat instead of off the shore. You know, let's go catch more fish. You know, let's use a net instead of one fishing pole each. You know, let's all grab an end of this net and pull it in and grab as many fish as we can in the net. You know, haul in fish instead of fishing with a fishing pole, hoping. But you have to have, you know, someone to look at things different. But you also have to have learned behavior for, you know, like society or cultures to not only to continue to exist, but to thrive, to grow, and to later evolve when whoever it is in that city, that town, that country, that village decides that, hey, you know, instead of walking through the woods, you know, with this sharp, you know, rock, maybe I can, you know, attach this sharp rock to the end of a long stick, you know, and make a spear, you know, keep things off of me, at least 10 to 6, 7, 8, 10 feet away. And if I need to, I can throw it and, you know, pierce the body of, you know, maybe an attacking animal or maybe a prey. Maybe I can eat better because I can now, you know, strike things from a distance. Then you have somebody say, I'm not going to throw an arrow, you know. I mean, I'm not going to throw a spear. I'm going to make an arrow. I'm sorry, y'all. But we're just talking about the upgrades and people who look at things and they say, well, it's been done like this and this works, but this will work much better. And this is what simulations do. You know, they give information on how well, like, something has worked, or something is done, or how well something is performed, or someone is performed. I mean, you run all these simulations on things that happened in the past versus what's happening now, and then you can get a better understanding of what could happen in the future. You know, it's just predictions, Vegas uses it with these supercomputers, right? They predict the winner of these football, baseball, basketball, boxing, you name it. Vegas is, predicting the winners. Only a supercomputer. They don't have like a real smart dude in the back room saying that, well, San Francisco going to beat the Rams this weekend. And he's right. Nobody knows until after the game is over. But, you have all these people that are in the business of predicting. And they say that I have a high accuracy rate. But, they use these computers with these algorithms and they look up all of this information and throw it in there and come out with, some pretty good, predictions. Now, nobody's 100%, not even a supercomputer, but, you take your chances when you think about how much information these computers are calculating and remembering and, throwing into these equations. Something that, a regular person probably never do. And I just call my favorite team, Go Niners. But it is what it is. People are completely lost when it comes to the sheer size of the universe, or they even the need for something like a simulator or simulations or a database or database management. I mean, it's people like me who step away and say, well, things have been done like this for so long, maybe we should do it like this. Maybe you should have a more open mind when you, do this, or you plan this, or you, participate in this plan. Because, you can have a great plan and crappy execution. And that would cause a plan to collapse. Or you can have a crappy plan and outstanding execution. And it still don't work because it was a crappy plan to begin with. So you have to need all these things to fall in place. So you do your part, have an open mind, question everything. Go out there and look, study, research, find your place in this mass multiverse. Because think about it. If the universe is massive, right? It's huge. It's too big for you to comprehend because it's still getting bigger. So it's huge. Now just think of billions of universes, countless numbers of universes. And then you get into the multiverse theory, like, oh, that's way too much. You're talking 3D. I'm still used to the flat screen. Now ask yourself, y'all. Now, we go back to the solar system and, how it works. Now, you got the planet Earth. And the planet Earth is going around this huge, massive star, right? The sun. And all the other planets in the solar system also are going around this huge, massive star, right? Orbits. But it's funny. Even though each one of these planets had their own separate orbit, but they all on the same plane, right? They're not wild and out of control. And that's what I tell people about the universe that I find most amazing in all of my study and all of my life and all of my years, is that there's uniform to it. It's an order. You got planets in the solar system going around a star, but they're all in the same plane, even though in separate, orbits. And that's kind of like a universal rule, right? It just seems like it. So, I don't know. I dig deep. I ask myself tough questions, and I force myself to find the answers. Then I come back and I talk to y'all about some of the stuff that I found or other people like me have found. Whether it's on the Mandela Effect, Space News, Universe, multi-dimension, multi-universe, CERN, particle research, SpaceX, space exploration, ancient civilizations, ruins, natural disasters, both past, present, and possible future. Because all these things, I believe, are important and it affect each one of us. And that's what I try to make the podcast about, covering some of the things that I feel affect all of us. So, man, I think that's it for now. I mean, we got so much more to cover on this subject. I mean, it's not the end of this subject, it's just the end of the show. We didn't really want to go too long. I told Mikey that, we wanted to find a happy medium. We don't want to have it too short of a podcast, but we also don't want to have one that's too long, too time consuming. So, we still working it out. So I do want to thank everybody who's been staying with us and been downloading the show and been following us and giving us support. I thank each and every one of you, and I love you. And, well, we're getting close to the weekend. Today's hump day. Tomorrow is Thursday. Well, it's probably Thursday already. I haven't looked at the clock in a minute. Oh, God. If you've been listening to Dark Skies News and Information, I'm your host, L.C. Graves, #1 podcast in the entire multiverse. And I'm the captain on this ship as we journey through the unknown to make it known. Oh, God, our places everywhere. And, well, I'm going to do my part. And you do yours, and we'll meet in the middle. But until then, peace, love, and happiness. And I'm out.